Hello and welcome back to the Sam Beast YouTube channel and another one in our ITAM short series. Today we're once again talking to Barry Pilling, and in this question I asked him whether a good technological background is actually really beneficial to you in the event of moving into a software licensing role, particularly within the complicated environment of the data center. Barry makes some really interesting points, so I really hope you enjoyed the video and we will see you on the next one.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to be honest, I think it really depends on what area of the industry you want to work in as well. I mean, for me, I don't quite know where the light bulb moment came, but it was very much when I got involved in the IBM license piece for HP on that particular occasion. It was very much, wow, I really do enjoy this. You know, it just appealed to my really geeky nature. And I think if you want to be a licensed consultant, especially in the data centers or in cloud, as we're moving towards clouds, you need to have an understanding of the technology. Because if you don't understand it, and this is something I bang the drum about a lot, if you don't understand the technology you're dealing with, you can't do the licensing in the most cost optimal manner. So,
yeah. So would you say, you mentioned that there's obviously loads of different bits within ITAM you can go into, but your kind of passion point and the bit that really kind of drives you and has that spark is licensing. Is that your area that really kind of motivates you and you enjoy?
I would say yes. Certainly the first probably 7 or 8 years I was in the industry, licensing was definitely my thing, particularly data center licensing. So, you know, or any tier ones from Microsoft, IBM, VMware, Oracle, SAP, anything like that, where it's complex. I feel like I can really get my teeth into it and actually.
You like that challenge?
Absolutely. You have to, I mean, you have to challenge yourself. I mean, everything I know about licensing is pretty much self-taught because I've been put in a position where I need to know something. And then had to go out and research it. I mean, a couple of years ago, I did a piece of work for a client. They were doing a commercial transition. Moving a load of software from one data center to an in-house one, from a service provider one to an in-house one. And they threw Informatica at me and they said, oh, right, we need to understand our position with Informatica. I had never touched it before that, never. And it was, okay, I can do that. You know, give me a week. So I went away, spent all the time I could researching Informatica, looking at their agreement stack, understanding their license metrics and their models, understand the technology that we were talking about, and actually came back and I did what I think was a pretty good Informatica license position, you know. But I think you have to, because nobody can ever know everything there is to know about licensing. You know, you can have vendors that you really do specialize in, where you do get really involved and you know, well, not everything, but you know, huge amounts about that vendor. For me, those are people like IBM, Microsoft, and VMware. And then there's going to be vendors which you can know a lot about, but not necessarily specialize in. So that would be like Oracle and SAP for me, you know. And there's ones that I know nothing about, you know. I think weirdly, because I know you're a bit more of an expert in this, weirdly, I only really seriously dealt with Adobe licensing for the first time this year, you know.
But so I think that's awesome though, that there's a consultant who's a licensing guru is openly saying, look, I do not know the licensing for every single vendor out there. I think there are some, I've got to be careful with that. I think there are some people and maybe consultancies that kind of claim that they do know absolutely everything about all vendors, and also some people that have actually, you know, contacted me. And they're either worried that if they turn around to their boss and say, look, I've never heard of this licensing before, I don't really know how to do it, are worried that it doesn't look like that they're in control. But actually, like you just said there, you don't have to know everything. You're not expected to know absolutely everything. But like you, go away, research for a week, 2 weeks, however long it takes, so that you can then support your organization or your customers.
That's an interesting point as well, because again, it comes back to what you want to do in the industry. I mean, obviously, you know, you've been a consultant for a while now. I've been doing consulting and contract work for 8 years now. But I think the people that really are up against it in a lot of ways are the people that are thrust into position in an end user organization And they just don't have the luxury of time to actually go away and maybe and research a vendor, because they've got so many operational pressures and operational demands to meet, because they've got a process framework to run. They probably have requests to approve. Yeah. They've got to deal with senior management, MI reporting, all this sort of stuff as well. And I genuinely feel for them. And obviously, I mean, we have the ITAM Review listeners group, and then there's the ITAM Review forum. And if somebody comes up with genuine questions, if I can help them, I will always try and help them out, you know, if it's something I know about. But obviously, that's the beauty of being a consultant, because you can choose what you want to do and what you want to specialize in, rather than be a software asset manager or IT asset manager in an end user organization who has got to try and do it all in order to keep that practice moving forward.